This is the To Health With That, Naturally Healthy in No Time podcast for big health topics taken in small bites. I'm your host, naturopathic Dr. Amy Newsel, and this is Season 1, all about the MTHFR mutation. This week, we're going to finish up our little series on homocysteine by actually talking about how to lower homocysteine, which is probably the part everybody was interested in from the beginning anyway, but you know me, I like to give background information. So as with everything to do with MTHFR, balancing your methylation and boosting your B vitamins, especially B2, folate or 5L-methyl tetrahydrofolate if you can tolerate it, and B12 is the first step. Balance your methylation. There are obviously some other things you can look into as well. First off, MTHFR is not at all the only cause of high homocysteine. Of course, our focus in this podcast is MTHFR, but high homocysteine has other causes as well, and the sad truth is you can have fleas and ticks on the same dog. That's one of my favorite Texas expressions. What I mean by that is just because you have MTHFR doesn't mean you don't also potentially have another cause of high homocysteine. And it's important to manage all of those causes and to keep your eyes open for them, right? So just because you found one cause doesn't mean that's the only thing happening. Other causes of high homocysteine include poor diet, poor lifestyle, smoking, diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, thyroid imbalance, chronic inflammatory diseases of any kind, celiac, Crohn's disease, long-term use of steroidal medications like corticosteroids, and some prescription medications, methotrexate because it lowers folate, metformin, long-term use because it blocks B12 absorption, hydrochlorothiazide, fibrate-type cholesterol-lowering medications, so that's like clofibrate, gemfibrozil, bezafibrate, ciprofibrate, fenofibrate. Levodopa, in some instances, can be linked to high homocysteine, and also long-term use with antiepileptic drugs. Research is really mixed on nicotinic acid and or niacin, maybe. So some studies say yes, some studies say no. If you have one of these underlying conditions or you're taking a prescription medication that's known to elevate your homocysteine, then working on that issue first can help you get your numbers into normal or, better yet, optimal range, which we talked about last week. If you do have a prescription that could be causing elevated homocysteine, make sure you talk to your prescribing physician about alternatives. Don't just discontinue any prescription medication without the advice of your physician. Please, please, don't do that. So let's talk about the MTHFR Optimal Homocysteine Action Plan. For MTHFR folks, balancing your methylation is the first step because it's most likely to have the highest impact on your homocysteine levels. This means follow the plan. Balance your methylation. I've said it already, but the first step is always boosting your methylation cycle because that's where we tend to stall out with MTHFR. This means following the To Health With That plan. Get rid of the folic acid. Add a methylation-friendly B complex. I like B- from Seeking Health. Then add, if you tolerate it, 5L-MTHF, and boost your natural dietary folates too, right? Natural dietary folates will get you a very long way. If you don't tolerate folate, then work on whatever your workaround is, and we've got whole posts on that whole topic. If you aren't familiar with the plan, then I have a link in the show notes where you can begin to walk through it and get further guidance and kind of have more resources around that. Okay, step 2. Limit your protein intake. The more protein and consequently methionine you take in, the more homocysteine your body makes. There's a full article about that whole thing and a link to it in the show notes. Quit smoking. As though you needed one more reason why smoking is bad for your health, but yep, smoking raises your homocysteine levels. You know, if you didn't have enough reasons to quit before, maybe this will tip you over the edge. Move your body. A sedentary lifestyle is a huge risk for almost every chronic disease we know of, and high homocysteine is no exception. So get out there, do something fun, do something you like to do. Take a look at your alcohol intake. So alcohol blocks folate absorption, and so increased alcohol intake can raise homocysteine. It's probably mitigated by extra folate intake, but maybe not. So, have a hard look at that. Cut back on the coffee. This pains me. But a little bit of coffee isn't a problem. Too much for your body can cause a rise in your homocysteine. Zinc. So zinc is a cofactor in some of the enzymes involved in the recycling of homocysteine to methionine. And so if you have an actual zinc deficiency, that can cause your homocysteine levels to rise. Zinc supplementation can help to improve that beneficial conversion. And it's also, great for your immune system, really great for male hormones balance, and for females too, to help us keep adequate testosterone levels. So, you know what? Make sure you're getting enough zinc. And acetylcysteine is another thing that you can take to lower homocysteine. In studies, it's shown to lower homocysteine as well as folate supplementation. So that's pretty remarkable, actually. It could be due to glutathione boosting effects or to some unknown mechanism. They don't really know. Fish oils is another thing. Fish oils or omega-3 fatty acids. So new research is showing that there's some magical link between B vitamins and fish oils when it comes to lowering homocysteine. And we're actually going to talk about this not specifically for homocysteine, but fish oils for MTHFR next week. The B vitamins and omega-3 fatty acids work together even better than they work additively apart. So if you have B vitamins, it gets you so far. If you have fish oils, it gets you this far. But if you add them together, it gets you even further than both of those combined. Also, lower your inflammation. So if you have lots of inflammation or have had high inflammation for a long time, then chances are your body has raised your homocysteine levels to protect itself. This might mean addressing whatever's causing the inflammation, or it might mean adding in some good natural anti-inflammatories like turmeric, quercetin, or pycnogenol. Take your antioxidants. So there's another thing. If you're not getting enough of these, then homocysteine levels will rise. I have to assume that's to help your body manufacture more glutathione, but take some antioxidants to help reduce that burden. Vitamin C, vitamin E, some of the alternative antioxidants like resveratrol or ECGC from green tea, vitamin A, there's so many options to choose from. And lastly, work on underlying disease. If you're doing everything right, with your lifestyle, you're living right, everything's good, but your thyroid hormones are still low, maybe it's time to see your doctor about that. Likewise with other chronic diseases. We can't fix homocysteine if there's an underlying condition that continues to cause it to elevate. It's really important to remember that homocysteine by itself isn't the problem. The problem is that high homocysteine is a possible indicator for a lot of different issues that cause your body to either not be able to reduce the homocysteine appropriately or to cause too much to be made. It's important not to get discouraged, too. If you try the obvious things like taking methylfolate and it isn't working, there's so many other avenues to try. And every step you take towards your health counts. This is all additive, right? So everything you do that's a positive for your health, even if it's, I'm going to take a 5-minute mental health break today, that's a positive. Do that, right? You are doing something positive for your health. So yay, go you. Thank you for listening this week, and thank you for being here. And I just have to give a shout out to my people in Genetic Rockstars. That's our MTHFR community, and it's amazing. It's so surprising to me how much people are bringing to the table already. And the thing that I'm finding is that every new person makes the community that much stronger, right? Every new person is exactly where they need to be and is answering questions from other people and is sharing their experience. And so we're all learning from each other. So I love that. Thanks, guys. And we'll talk next week about fish oils. See you then.